There is a person alive right now who once held your hand. You know the sound of their laughter. You remember how their eyes looked when they were happy. You could find them. You could type a message. You could speak their name out loud. But you have not done it in years. And they have not done it for you. This is not a fight. A fight has noise and slamming doors. This is a quiet agreement to pretend someone died when they did not. I am talking about a death that needs no body. No coffin is lowered. No candles are lit. No one gathers in a dark room to weep. The person eats breakfast tomorrow morning. They go to work. They sleep. They dream. But inside the story of their own family, they have been removed. Like a line crossed out in a book. Like a photograph turned to face the wall. Still breathing. Already gone. This kind of loss has no name most people dare to speak. Real death brings community. Real death brings permission to grieve. People hold you. They bring warm food. They say the lost name with tenderness. But when a living person is buried by their bloodline, there is no food, no visitors, no gentle words. You carry the grief alone. A cold stone in your chest you cannot show anyone. Because the world does not mourn someone who still has a pulse. And somewhere in the silence, a terrifying question grows. If my own family can unmake me while I breathe, then what am I really? A person, or just a memory someone chose to delete? The human mind was never built for this. We have rituals for the dead, ancient songs, burial rites, days of remembrance. Entire cultures are shaped around saying goodbye to bodies. But no culture has a ritual for the living dead. No one teaches you how to close a door on someone whose heart still beats 3 streets away. No one prepares you to become a ghost inside your own bloodline. This is what happens. One day the calls stop. The birthdays pass in silence. The name becomes something people avoid, like a sharp object in the dark. The person is still out there somewhere, buying milk, paying rent, brushing their teeth. But inside the family memory, they have already been lowered into the ground. The strange part is how cleanly this happens. No announcement. No ceremony. Just a slow fade into a silence so thick it becomes a grave. The one who is erased enters a fog that has no name. They still walk through the world. They still have a body, a voice, a shadow. But something essential has been cut. The thread that connected them to their origin. The mirror that once reflected who they were. Without it, the reflection becomes blurry. They start to ask questions that have no answer. Am I still real if no one who made me will look at me? Do I exist if I am not remembered? The deepest cut is not the rejection. It is the silence around the rejection. No fight left to finish. No words left to say. Just an empty space where love used to live. And that empty space breathes. It has a pulse of its own. It follows the erased person into every room, every relationship, every quiet night. Let me walk you deeper into this. The first thing that breaks is not the heart. It is the sense of being real. Human identity is not built alone. We learn who we are by being seen. A child discovers their existence in the mother's eyes. An adult maintains their self through being named, remembered, reflected by the people who matter most. When that reflection is taken away, something inside begins to dissolve. Psychologists call this social death. Your body is alive. Your social self is buried. And here is what is frightening. Brain scans show that the pain of social rejection activates the same regions as physical pain. Being erased from your family hurts in a way the body understands completely. It is not just sadness. It is a wound. And the wound never closes because the death is never confirmed. There is no body, no final proof, just a silence that stretches across years. Then comes the shame. The erased person often carries a heavy question. What did I do to deserve being unmade? They carry this question into every new connection. They hesitate before trusting. They wait for the next abandonment. Because if your own blood could erase you, then anyone can. This is the quiet damage that does not announce itself. It hides in small moments. A hesitation before saying I love you. A flinch when someone gets too close. A voice in the head that whispers, they will leave too. The family carries their own hidden weight. They may have buried the person in memory, but the memory does not stay buried. A mother hears a song and her throat tightens. A father sees a stranger with a familiar walk and looks away too fast. A sister cannot explain why a certain date makes her feel hollow. You can erase a name from your lips. You cannot erase the shape it carved inside your bones. Now the part we all avoid. The unmourned and the ones who erased them are bound forever by this silence. It becomes the most honest thing between them. Not love, not hate, just a sealed door that neither will open. And that door has weight. It presses on every family gathering. It sits in the empty chair that no one mentions. It lives in the pause before someone almost says the forbidden name and then stops themselves. This is not peace. This is a frozen war. A wound covered with silence instead of healing. Both sides bleed quietly. The erased person walks through life with a funeral inside them that never finished. The family walks with a ghost they chose to create. And the strange truth is this. Neither side knows how to stop it anymore. Too much time has passed. Too much silence has hardened into stone. To speak now would be to shatter everything. So they stay silent. And the silence grows roots. The unmourned do not disappear. They become something else. A gap in the story. A missing chapter. A hole shaped exactly like a person. And holes have their own kind of presence. You feel them more sharply than you feel the things that are there. The absence becomes louder than presence ever was. On quiet nights, the erased person lies awake. They remember a voice, a touch, a family dinner from 20 years ago, and they wonder, do they ever think of me? Do they ever almost call? Or am I truly gone? The not knowing is the slowest poison. It kills nothing all at once. It just keeps you forever waiting for a funeral that will never come. So what happens to the unmourned? They do not die. They do not disappear. They keep breathing. They keep walking through the world with a strange, invisible wound. The absence becomes their shadow. The silence becomes a language only they understand. And love, if love was ever real, does not end. It freezes. It sits locked in a room between two people who once shared a life, unable to decay, unable to bloom. Maybe you know someone who carries this. Maybe you carry it yourself. The unmourned are everywhere. They smile. They work. They look at sunsets. They seem whole. But inside, a small bell rings without stopping. It rings for the goodbye that was never spoken. It rings for the child they once were in a family that chose to forget them. It rings for the version of themselves that is still alive inside a story someone closed forever. Some graves are not dug in earth. Some graves are built from silence. And some deaths have no ending. They just become a quiet room inside the heart where a person used to live. If something in you recognizes this silence, subscribe to ASky. We explore the feelings the world does not name. The quiet wounds. The hidden human truth.